Alrighty, morning everyone, and welcome back to another beautiful video on this beautiful channel on another beautiful day. Today's video will be about why I am heavily stacking gold right now, even though the prices are reasonably high. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit of a story to kind of get to that point, and then I'm gonna talk about maybe how I want to progress in the future. Of course, the future is always a little bit of a question mark, so we can't really know that for sure. But what I think I might be doing in the future with gold and stuff like that. And yeah, I think it's going to be useful for people that want to get into gold stacking and buying gold in general, and also people that maybe just don't know really what to do in their lives, maybe, right? Because no one really knows everything that they want to do. Most people just kind of get along and do the best they can, right? But no one really has any very specific goals anymore nowadays. At least that's what I didn't have when I started to heavily get into gold and silver again. And you know, the main point when that kind of happened, or when that kind of started, and you might have already guessed, this is only a day later after I made the last video, and we still got our nice little 1/10 ounce gold coins over here. And we've also got a half-ounce gold coin there, very, very beautiful. And but yeah, this all just kind of started when I still was in school, actually, in high school, which I wasn't really able to finish because I got thrown out of high school. Not because I did anything wrong, just because of, I guess, something that was kind of born with me, right? It's a something similar to a disease, right? But that pretty much got me kicked out of school. And I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything wrong. Matter of fact, I didn't do a whole lot in school anyways. I didn't really interact with a lot of people. Was more or less a very quiet person. And but yeah, so that was kind of the start when I thought nothing, actually. And that was a moment in which I realized, okay, there's actually not only good things in the world. Because before that happened, that was a few years ago, I was more like very naive, I would say, when it comes to political stuff and all kinds of things like that. I thought like, oh yeah, everyone just wants to do a good job and whatnot. And if politicians do like wrong decisions, that wasn't their intention. They just did that because they're human or whatnot. That obviously changed a whole bunch after all of these things happened to me. And nowadays I'm more like, yeah, right, you can go ahead and F yourself if you want to tell me what to do. But, back then I was just a completely different person. And I was always into coins and gold and silver and preserving value and wealth and stuff like that, because I always wanted to have like a better life in the future, and also for maybe my family in the future or whatnot, right? All kinds of reasons for that. And so I was always into gold and silver coins. Of course, being in school, you can't really afford a lot of gold or any whatsoever. But I always had this interest in it. So when it came to the point where I had to leave school and basically didn't have any further education besides like 12th grade, which is nothing here. It's basically the same as 10th because you don't have anything after 12th. So you basically wasted 2 years and you didn't get, your thingamajigger that you get when you finish high school. And so I couldn't go to like normal university and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I was kind of like, okay, not that I wanted to go to university. I didn't really want to do that anyway. So I was just kind of like, yeah, you can all go ahead and frig off, because I've always had, a strong sense of justice in regards to myself. As I said, was very naive, so I didn't really think that anyone would do stuff like that on purpose. That obviously drastically changed. But so I kind of thought to myself, okay, what am I going to do now? And then I just started doing everything, really. I started to do everything that I could see any sort of value in. I started to do businesses online. I started to do all kinds of stuff. I obviously went into scrapping. You can see that if you go back on the channel. I did scrapping for some time. And then I had to kind of stop scrapping again because my health wasn't really on point anymore, to the point that I could do the heavy scrapping that I was doing before without really heavy tools. So that was a thing, but I made some money there. Well, not really, actually. I poured it all back into the business, but I got tools out of it, right? And I can still use these tools to do stuff, and I do, right? I do stuff with those tools, so that wasn't for nothing, certainly not. Tools are very expensive, and to get a whole bunch of good tools, that's definitely beneficial. Um, and so, yeah, but then a few years back, I think that was like 2020 or 2021, I was like, I am very, very much so afraid of the shit that these people up there might have in store for us. I don't want anything to do with that. I just want to be left alone. I just want to be left alone. I want to live somewhere where no one can find me. I want to have my net worth basically in my suitcase to go wherever I want to go, wherever I have to go, not wherever I want to go, wherever I have to go. I am where I would want to be, but I have serious doubts about being able to stay where I am. So there's that, and I wanted that, and I was like, what can give that to me? And so I was kind of like thinking, well, you were always into gold and silver, right? I was mainly into silver back then, and I was like, well, maybe that is a good idea. Dumbass. Could have come up with that idea before, but so I kind of decided, okay, so let's get into gold then. Let's start buying gold. I think that's a very good idea. Start stacking, start really building up a stack. Before that, my basically the only thing that I was doing with coins and gold and silver was flipping them. Right, I was making reasonably good amounts of money tax free with just flipping coins. Obviously, waiting 1 year and then selling it without paying taxes on it and stuff like that. And so that's also another thing that I was doing. And I was like, might as well just take those profits and put it into gold and into gold eagles, basically, because the gold eagle is a coin that I really, really love and that I want to basically build my stack with. So I was like, may as well do that. So I started to do that a little bit more heavily, and then I started to actually make decent amounts of money with it, and then I bought all these coins, and also some coins that you saw in the last video and stuff like that, and coins that are still going to come. So yeah, and it's all 100% entirely legal. You can do that whenever you want to, and that is completely tax free and completely like allowed, right? Just to do it as a hobby. So I'm doing that, and the reason for why I am actually doing that is basically because I just want my net worth to be able to fit into my suitcase and to just go somewhere else where I am at least remotely safe, because unfortunately the world has just turned into such a shit show that I really don't feel safe anywhere at this point. I've got severe anxiety disorders, which I very effectively suppress because, I'm not a weak person. I don't have any kind of weird outbursts and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I don't know why I said weird. I understand that. Right, I understand that people feel that way. I understand that people are like, this world is just whatever, it's just complete crap. But I honestly think that it's very, 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 very important to just have something at least that you can look ahead to, some goal in mind that you want to achieve, that maybe makes your situation better, right? Or that gives you something valuable that makes life fun for you and stuff like that. And for me, what makes me feel better is buying gold, because I feel like I'm actively doing something to protect myself against ridiculous stuff like the stuff that we've seen over the last couple of years. So that brings me some sense of security or whatnot, right? And that's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm actively stacking gold and buying more gold coins and basically putting everything in there that I can. Of course, keeping an eye on the tax situation, because I don't want to pay too much tax on something that I don't really need to buy right now. And of course, if you're taking money out of your companies and stuff like that, you have to pay taxes on it, because that's treated like income. And so, yeah, you got to be careful with that. But within reason, I'm putting everything that I can into gold and stuff. And of course, I'm not storing it here or anywhere near where I live, but I store it somewhere very safely, somewhere where I can get reasonably quickly. Of course, not immediately, but reasonably quickly. And so, yeah, that's something just really, really important for me, and the main reason why I stack gold and why I will continue to stack gold in the future. Basically, no matter what. If gold becomes prohibited in some country, I'm just gonna leave. I'm just gonna go. I have no connection to any place whatsoever. In my mind, I have already determined that I will have to leave probably a lot of times in my life, and I have done so in the past. Unfortunately, had to. But yeah, I really don't care. If gold gets prohibited somewhere, I'm gone. I don't care about my house. I don't care about anything. I care about my freedom, my personal freedom, and that's why the only thing that I'm putting money into right now is either something that improves me as a person, or something that I can put into one suitcase. I've got one suitcase, one very good, sturdy, waterproof suitcase, and everything of my net worth fits in there. And that's basically why I'm buying gold. It's a very extreme point of view, I get that, but that's just kind of the world, how I see it, unfortunately. But you know what? I'm still staying positive about it. You know, I'm doing everything that I can do, and no one can expect anything else from me. I'm doing what I can do. I'm doing everything that I can do, right? And if it's not enough, so be it. But I'm still happy with it. And I'm still trying to I still try to live my life in a reasonably happy way. Of course, it's not a happy time, right? But I still think that there's reason to be positive about everything. Not because maybe not because it actually is positive, but just because you need that kind of mindset, because otherwise you're just going to be miserable. So yeah, that's basically how I keep my spirits high, and how I'm telling myself, yeah, you know what, you're actively doing something to protect yourself and your future. So yeah, that's basically this very short, brief little story. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your opinion on all of that stuff is. I'd be very interested in that. And if you want to know something, you can also write that in the comments below. I'll be very happy to answer that, as always. And if you want to, you can rate the video with thumbs up or thumbs down, whatever you might want to do. And you can also subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss any other videos like this, or other videos that I did in the past, because everything is kind of sort of something that I still do. Even scrapping. We're going to go back to scrapping once the weather gets a little bit more nice over here. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Have a fantastic week, and until next time.